The air was heavy with anticipation as the representatives shuffled into the Grand Room of the United Nations. The recent military confrontation had left the world teetering on edge, and now all eyes were on the leaders taking their positions at the iconic semicircular desk. On one side stood Danny Danon, the Israeli envoy, his expression resolute. Across from him sat Amir Said Irwani, representing Iran, his face a mask of determined calm. The tension between them was palpable, a live wire threatening to snap at any moment. As the session commenced, Danon held the floor. The United States has delivered the world from a nuclear catastrophe, he proclaimed, his voice echoing through the chamber. Iran has misused diplomatic talks to advance their uranium enrichment and missile development. Allowing them to become a nuclear power would have been a death sentence. This strike was the last line of defense after all other deterrents had failed. Irwani, unfazed, responded with practiced composure. We retain the right to respond to American aggression, he asserted, his voice steady as steel. Our armed forces will determine the appropriate time, nature, and extent of our retaliation. The American claims against Tehran lack any foundation, driven purely by political motives. Their assault is a blatant violation of international law, with Washington having compromised its own security just to appease Netanyahu. The exchange was a chilling back and forth, a diplomatic sparring match witnessed by an assembly holding its collective breath. Each statement was a move in a game of geopolitical chess, where the stakes were nothing short of peace or chaos. Outside the chamber, the world watched with bated breath, caught in a perpetual state of waiting. The consequences of such high-stakes diplomacy were far-reaching, imploring every nation to wonder, who among them was telling the truth? Was it those who pointed to operational sites left in ruin, or those who held on to uranium, claiming they could forge a nuclear guardian from mere dust? In the background, the governments of the world stood wary, anxious of the unpredictable waves such conflicts created. As the weight of the unsaid negotiations bore heavily, a silent prayer echoed amongst the innocent, a plea for sovereignty not to rest in foreign hands, for power not to be weaponized by the whims of distant leaders, and for security not to be subject to the placations of those seated beyond their borders. Yet, amongst such high-level discussions, a deeper truth lurked, a realization that no nuclear capability would see the light of day in the region without American consent. The bulletproof resolve of the U.S. ensured that any independent aspiration towards nuclear ascendancy was but a fragile dream, crushed before becoming reality. The somber reality was stark, a military strike that did not kill but paralyzed, leaving behind a nation grasping at evaporated dreams, with only the rubble of shattered facilities as grim reminders of what could have been, or perhaps, what should never have been. The aftermath left the world dwelling in silence, lingering on the precipice of uncertainty, and whispers of change floated unconstrained across continents, quietly urging nations to remember a single truth: that no ascent was untouched by interference, and every attempt at independence risked being caught up in the tides of greater geopolitical currents. And as the Security Council session drew to a close, unanswered questions hung in the air. What remained was a testament both to the frailty of power when unmet by consensus, and the enduring hope of a world still longing to emerge from the shadow of contention, seeking understanding over annihilation.